Speaking of freak athletes, Caitlin Clark effect has now hit the WNBA. It has been announced today.
But the best basketball of the weekend, the best player in America, the best shooter in America, Caitlin Clark.
It's safe to say that the WNBA playoffs haven't been the same without Caitlin Clark. In fact, most people didn't even realize they were happening, and if you missed them, you're far from alone. The viewership numbers tell the story clearly. Without Clark, the ratings have taken a massive nosedive. What once drew an impressive 1.8 million viewers has now plummeted to a mere 161,000. That's not just a slight decline, it's a full-blown collapse. What's especially fascinating is that this is the exact moment some WNBA players have been waiting for. They've long believed they deserve more attention than Clark, and now that they finally have the spotlight all to themselves, the question is, will the audience stick around? Early signs suggest the opposite. The numbers are free-falling, and it's impossible to ignore what that really means for the league. For months, the narrative from many around the WNBA has been that the league's success shouldn't hinge on one player, that the WNBA is bigger than Caitlin Clark. But now that she's gone and the ratings are in free fall, some are already preparing to shift the argument. Expect to hear claims that the people who tuned in for Clark were never true fans of women's basketball in the first place, that they were only watching because of her. The argument will be that those temporary fans are gone now, and what remains are the true WNBA diehards. But when those so-called true fans only account for 161,000 viewers, it raises a serious question about just how much the league actually depends on Caitlin Clark's influence. The conversation has even reached national sports talk shows, where analysts are asking if the WNBA is about to face an identity crisis without its biggest star. And timing couldn't be worse. These playoff games are going head-to-head with the NFL. Competing with America's most powerful sports league during football season is a risky move for any sport, let alone one that just lost its biggest draw. Caitlin Clark didn't just play in the WNBA, she transformed it. Every metric that matters skyrocketed the moment she arrived. Ticket sales, merchandise, TV ratings, and social media engagement. Even with her team now eliminated, ESPN and other networks will try to spin the data, emphasizing that this year's numbers are still higher than last year's. But that's only because last year's viewership was so low to begin with. The Indiana Fever went from being completely overlooked to becoming one of the most talked about teams in sports. And that's entirely because of Clark. Now that both she and the Fever are out, the WNBA is feeling the ripple effect in real time. The league will still point to year-over-year growth, but that doesn't tell the full story. Without Clark, the excitement, energy, and casual audience are gone. Still, the WNBA will proudly advertise that this season marked a historic ratings increase, and technically, they'd be right. But make no mistake, that surge began and ended with Caitlin Clark. To put her impact into perspective, consider her playoff debut. It wasn't just another game, it was a ratings explosion. Her first ever WNBA playoff matchup drew an astonishing 1.84 million viewers, making it the most watched playoff game since the year 2000, when the league's finals were still in their infancy. For a rookie's debut game to reach that level of viewership is almost unheard of. And yet, that's exactly what Clark did. Before she arrived, the Indiana Fever were an afterthought. They had finished last in the league, which is how they earned the first pick that brought her to Indiana. But in just one season, she turned them from bottom feeders into must-watch basketball. During the regular season, the Fever averaged 1.19 million viewers per game, a number that dwarfed every other team's ratings. The rest of the league averaged only about 394,000. That means nearly 3 times as many people tuned in to watch Clark and the Fever than any other matchup. It's no exaggeration to say she single-handedly lifted the WNBA into mainstream relevance. And now, with her gone, the contrast is staggering. Fans aren't just missing her, they're tuning out entirely. But the discussion doesn't stop at ratings. Clark's success has even changed how people talk about women's basketball on a historical level. For the first time, broadcasters began comparing her rookie playoff run to legends from NBA history, like Magic Johnson's iconic debut. It's unprecedented to see NBA and WNBA stats being combined side by side on national broadcasts. But that's exactly what happened when Clark became the all-time leading scorer in all of college basketball, men's and women's. She's bridged a gap that no player before her has managed to close. Yet now, with her season over, it feels like the party's ended and everyone has left the room. The WNBA faces a harsh reality. The league has become heavily reliant on one player. That dependence has fueled debate over whether it's sustainable, or if it's setting the league up for long-term problems. Because when the numbers drop this dramatically, it's impossible to ignore where the success truly came from. Still, credit must be given where it's due. Caitlin Clark didn't just bring new attention, she fundamentally changed the league's trajectory. This was the most watched WNBA season in 28 years, and it's all thanks to her. She brought in an entirely new fan base, from die-hard basketball lovers to casual sports viewers who had never watched a women's game before. And now, with her and the Fever eliminated after their 2-game loss to the Connecticut Sun, everyone is asking the same thing. Will anyone still care to watch the rest of the playoffs? The question isn't unfair. The numbers make it clear that Clark's presence equals interest, and her absence equals apathy. Her impact was that significant. She didn't just lift her own team, she carried the entire league's popularity on her shoulders. Even more impressive is how she handled the spotlight. Throughout her rookie year, Clark faced endless scrutiny, hard fouls, and even moments of blatant disrespect from opponents. Yet through it all, she never lost her composure. In her playoff debut, she made WNBA history again, becoming the first rookie ever to record at least 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in a postseason game. Those aren't just strong rookie numbers, they're elite by any standard. Over the entire playoff series, she averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 2 steals, and a block per game, all while maintaining grace and professionalism under immense pressure. That's rare maturity for a 22-year-old athlete. The truth is, no one else in league history has ever produced those kinds of numbers in their first postseason. Caitlin Clark has set a new benchmark, not just for rookies, but for what the future of the WNBA can look like. Her talent, leadership, and composure have made her a role model for a new generation of fans and athletes alike. Even as her season ends, one thing is certain: the league's biggest story still revolves around her. Because while the playoffs continue without Caitlin Clark, it's clear the spotlight left with her.